Hey everybody, welcome to Behind the Clipboard. I am so thrilled to have Noel McKinnon, hair and makeup stylist, with us today. Hey Noel, how you doing?
Hi, great.
So excited to chat with you. We met at a really great wedding with a big bridal party, spent a lot of time getting them pinned and ready to go. And it was such a pleasure working with you and, definitely excited to continue to working with you and learn more about your business today. Um, so tell me how you got started and how you got into hair and makeup.
So ever since I was little, I've been obsessed with anything hair and makeup. My mother actually gave me a curling iron and was like, here's a curling iron, don't plug it in, but you can pretend to curl your doll's hair. And when you're that age, you don't know synthetic hair isn't real hair. And so all my dolls had melted hair from me trying to actually, of course I plugged it in.
Right.
And so I melted all their hair, and I've just it's like I have chill bumps now talking about it because I absolutely just love it so much. So from then on, I'd never ever wavered or never thought about doing anything but hair and makeup.
Yeah, it just kind of felt like your passion immediately.
It's just I knew ever since I could like talk. I That's the only thing I ever wanted to do.
Yeah. And so obviously we met during a wedding, but you do so much more than that.
I do. I tell my brides sometimes, don't look at my Instagram because I do a lot of editorial shoots, and it can kind of scare brides. I moved from New York to here, and they're very different. I love my New England brides, but they're a little bit more. They don't want crazy blue hair. I don't get it, but they just want to look like a beautiful bride. So, the editorial work that I do is fun, and I learn so much. I work a lot with Matrix and Amika, and I travel with them, and I do the makeup side, and I learned so many techniques, and I love it because it comes across great when I do bridal. They're like, can you do this braid? I'm like, yeah, that's nothing. Like, of course. So, I do other things besides bridal.
Yeah, it really gives you kind of an all around view of all different kinds of skin tones and hair and everything.
Yes.
You've seen it all.
I've seen it all.
I want to circle in a little bit today on our hot topic and talk about trials because for me personally, we get a lot of questions from our brides that, most of the time it's their first time approaching getting their hair and makeup professionally done. They want to make sure it's right. They don't even know where to begin to look for ideas or what kinds of makeup looks good on them or how to even find someone. So it's kind of an overwhelming process when they really start it. So, what do you think is the best place to start when you are looking for a hair and makeup artist and you're thinking about that trial process?
The best thing to me is when I'm contacted by a bride with a date, I actually, in return, besides saying I'm available for that date or not, I talk to them and say, what is your style? What do you feel? When have you felt the most beautiful? Because sometimes girls will come to me and they never wear makeup. They're like, I never wear makeup. I never do my hair. I'm a tomboy. Or just simply, I'm a nurse, or I always wear my hair up in a bun, or I don't know. I'll say, well, if you don't know, what don't you like? So they definitely will know what they don't like. I don't want to have a ton of makeup. I don't want to have crazy lashes. And so, as the makeup artist and the hairdresser, I feel like it's very important to listen. Listen is huge because I've had girls that I've redone trials on, and they were like, I looked crazy. She didn't listen to me. And so, listening is huge as a makeup artist and a hairdresser, especially in the wedding, because it's not a photo shoot. A photo shoot, the model can't tell me yes or no. So I love it. I can just do what I'm supposed to do. But with brides, it's very personal, and you have to make sure that they know what they end up. They'll know what they want, because when they see it, they'll feel beautiful. And that's your end result, to make them feel, not always. Sometimes they'll have hair to here and say they want this ginormous bun. And I'm like, okay, well, that is going to bring extensions. That's not even going to be close to happening. But,
Yeah.
so honest, and listen.
I think speaking up is something that sometimes they get nervous about, is they don't want to hurt anyone's feelings and be like, oh, that's not really me or what I like. But that's what's important about that trial process, right? Is that you are telling them what you like and you don't like, and really
It's
get.
huge. That's huge. So I 100% am like, listen, it is not my day. It is your day. You're going to have these pictures for the rest of your life. And if you don't like it, you need to tell me, because I don't want you, one, to talk behind my back and say how terrible I did. And two, I want you to, these pictures are forever. So you need to speak up. And I actually have an example of, this was a hair issue where a bride had done a trial with me, and she ended up she had her mother with her, and her mother talked her into wearing her hair up, and she likes her hair down. We did it up for the wedding, and then she was a bridesmaid maybe 2 years later, and I did her hair the way she wished she would have worn it on her wedding day, and she regretted it. She goes, this is amazing. I would have felt she goes, I feel more beautiful today, but it wasn't to do with me. It was to do with, listen to themselves, not everybody else. It's between the makeup artist and hairdresser and the bride. You need to listen to your first instincts, and when you look in the mirror, you know if you like it or not.
Right. Yeah, that is such a great point. Not only speak up with the stylist, who's making you up or doing your hair, but also with your family and your bridal party and all the people that have all these opinions.
Yeah. No one has
um,
opinions.
I know. Do you feel that pictures are helpful? Like when they go down a Pinterest rabbit hole and they have all these ideas, is that something that's helpful?
I think it actually is, but so it's very helpful. I also work with other makeup artists and hairdressers. Hair, definitely, it's very helpful. But sometimes makeup is when it's a rabbit hole, because they will see something and I have a funny story, and the girl is like hilarious. She comes to me, she's gorgeous. She has blue eyes, black hair. She's with her sister, and she hands me a picture of Megan Fox. And she's like, I want to look just like this. And I looked at her, and I looked at the picture, and I said, you know that you're not Megan Fox, right? And her sister, and she's like, yeah. And her sister's like that. And I said, her coloring is nothing like yours. I was like, we can do, and so that's where we get to be open and talk. And then she's like, okay. And we adjusted the makeup 2 or 3 times, which is great. I personally don't mind changing something until somebody loves it. But yeah, we came to the conclusion she's not Megan Fox, but she was gorgeous as herself.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's such a tough thing too, because you're the center of attention, especially in a wedding or any kind of other celebration where you're getting your hair and makeup, because you're the focal point, and you can have this vision for yourself of who you want to be, and you kind of have to blend that with your natural beauty, right? And that's why you have a professional artist to help you through that.
Yeah.
And then any other tips for preparing specifically brides, but also really anyone who, like I said, we have people who are celebrating 50th birthdays or, doing styled shoots, and they're going, into trials and things to prepare for what they want and what they, like we mentioned, Pinterest and thinking out images, but anything as far as like how they should prepare their face or their hair, or just like really get ready for the process.
Yeah, I'm huge I'm going to reel it in more toward a bride, because we're kind of talking on the bride topic today. As far as brides go, and I've had some not listen to me, and I'm like, I've been doing this 20 years. And so from experience, I know, I've learned a lot. And so I tell them not to get a facial a week before, not to get your eyebrows waxed a week before, because as calm as the calmest bride, your insides are still, and your hormones and everything is very, very different than your normal everyday balance. So if per se, they're like, I've gotten my eyebrows waxed forever for 10 years. And then they come to me on their wedding day and they have little scabs. And I'm like, oh, you got your brows waxed this week? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, it's all right. We can cover it. I mean, we can do that, but to prepare your skin, drink a lot of water. And that's something people like carry around like a large bottles so you can keep track. Drink a lot of water. Make sure to take care of yourself, because a lot of times they end up, there's so much to do, they forget about themselves.
Right.
And then as far as hair, I personally love it when I wouldn't want to get married and not take a shower and wash my hair the day of my wedding. I just personally, if I don't wash my hair that day, I don't care if I took 10 baths, I still would feel dirty. So I tell them, take a shower. Everybody can take a shower, wash your hair, dry your hair. Believe me, the old saying of dirty hair, is better. It's not necessarily, because I've had very oily, hair. And so just be clean, 100% dry. That's all I ask, and not a ton of conditioner. If you want a lot of body and a lot of bounce in your hair, if you're wearing your hair down, conditioner is meant to weigh your hair down. So everybody's like, but it's so soft. I'm like, but it's so flat.
And then they complain why their curls won't stay. And
yes, exactly. So my advice is, to prepare, just take care of yourself, like with your skin, and, come with clean skin, no makeup on, and have 100% dry, clean hair.
Yeah. I love that tip about not getting facials and those beauty regimens right before your wedding, because I think what bridal parties will like turn it into part of like the few days before, like, let's all go to the spa together and do all these things. And I'm always like, what if you have an allergic reaction that just
yes, thank you. Don't get eyelash extensions the day before.
Right, especially if you've never had them before. Like,
that's what I mean. Yes.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, those are really great tips. And then I like to wrap up with something you may have learned the hard way, or just something kind of through your experience of working with brides or just working with clients with hair and makeup that you have kind of shifted how you do things, or, we all, especially in weddings events, everyone's so different. Everything is so personal, and you adapt a lot to different things. And unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, we learn things the hard way. So I'd love to kind of hear if you have any stories.
So as far as me, I have been on several weddings. I do hair and makeup, and I've been on weddings where I'm just makeup or I'm just hair. And I am from the South, and my mom would beat my rear if I wasn't nice to everyone. So that's just like what I do. But the hard way is just if you're not working as a team, the whole day in the end is about the bride. It's not about me. It's not about who's a better hair or makeup person. I try to bring people with me that are better than me. I always feel like everybody can learn. And so it's only, I feel like if you don't mesh together, the bride will feel it. So no matter if you've worked with somebody and you don't like them or not, or anything, that day, you're the bestest of friends, because it's about the bride. And I just have, I've been in certain situations where I just have to be the bigger person, and you have to know that the bride's the most important, and she has to feel like, she's put a lot of effort. She's probably been thinking about this since I melted my Barbie's hair. Like, I know, like, got it forever. So I just feel like that's the one thing I would say. And it's not really anything the bride should ever even know about. She should just feel beautiful and taken care of.
Right. Yeah. There's definitely like a one team, one goal mentality we all kind of have to have going into that day. Right. And definitely occasions where, a bride, she's had a hairstylist for 15 years and she wants her in her day, but, and so you guys may have never met before, but you're working together. And so you have to keep that mindset. That's a great point. And I think something for even brides to know too, is just, to make sure that that's something they're clarifying when they bring on two different stylists, is like, I will have a separate hairstylist, or we'll have a separate makeup artist. Like, we want to work together, and just really laying that out ahead of time, I think is something that it's good for them to know. So,
but one thing I would say also is, like, with you being the event planner, like, you reached out to me. So if I know specifically there's a different makeup artist or a different hairdresser, I'll say, hey, can I have their number so I can actually reach out to them like you did to me. I felt like I knew you before I met you, because we had spoken so many times, and, we've gotten things together. So I just feel like that's another thing that could make it easier, instead of like just showing up and it's kind of awkward, like, hey, so you can kind of introduce yourself a few days before.
Right. Yeah. And then you form long lasting partnerships that you can continue to work together like us.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. It's the fun part of the industry for sure. Um, well, thank you so much, Noel, for taking some time to talk with me. And it was great to learn more about you too. And I'm definitely looking forward to getting back out there with you once this is all died down and we can all celebrate and have weddings again. So
I can't wait. I love it so much.
I know. Well, everybody, make sure you follow Noel on Instagram at Noel_McKinnon. And you can check out her company at makeuptodiefor.com. All right.
And it's
Thanks.
the number 2 and the number 4.
Number
And
2,
it's
number 4.
DIE, not DYE. It's not for hair. It's makeup to die for, but we do hair to die
Die
for.
for.
It's to die for.
Love it. I love that name. Yeah. We'll put it up on the screen too so people can see it.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Thanks. Take care, Noel.